It's a 24/7 kind of thing because you need to do the things that you know would help you. So you need to sleep. It doesn't matter you want to play a video game now. If you're serious at what you do, you need to let that go. If that's getting in the way, you gotta let that go. Unfortunately, if you have a love life that gets in the way, you gotta let that go. Representing the country, I always thought it's my right. I always thought, like, if you're the best, you can represent the country. That's your God-given right. It doesn't work. It's a privilege. Sports can be cruel at times because it's beautiful. It's cruel because the moments that are high are magnified by that cruelty itself. So if everything is sunshine and rainbow in paradise, then it's not sport.
This show started a year ago. And on our very first episode in the eve of the Paris Olympics 2024, my guest today was in Italy, training as the #2 pole vaulter in the world. Today, he's home, and he has just organized the first ever world pole vault event in the Philippines, bringing to the nation some of the best pole vaulters in the world in a rare moment of competition. He has done us proud in so many ways, and we are so happy to have him here today in the flesh from one historic moment to another. EJ Obiena. I'm Pató Gregorio. Welcome to another episode of Homestretch. Rappler Homestretch, finally in front of me, EJ Obiena. EJ, thank you for guesting. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Manila.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for finally being in person and chatting with you, po.
And everybody here is starstruck. We're all starstruck. First question.
Sure.
How old were you when you started? And why, of all sports, why track and field, and why pole vault?
So I was maybe 4, 5, or 6 years old, right around that time. You know, my dad was a pole vaulter before, and then my mom was a teacher, so walang maiiwan sa bahay, right? So they usually bring me in the track sa Rizal Memorial pa back in the day. And when my dad was still training, you know, I stick around. I pick up, I do remember I have a video picking up some flowers and dun sa field area, yung mga damo and everything. But then afterwards, of course, my dad
Picking it up because you were bored.
Yeah, because I'm a 4-year-old kid, you know what you're gonna do. And but it's something that's really, you know, you see your parent doing it and you're amazed. There's gonna be a point, especially when you're young, you see your parents as your mentor, your superhero. They're the best, you know. And seeing that, I wanted to try, and then that's how I kind of slowly got introduced to it. I was not pole vaulting, like running and jumping. It's more like assisted pole vaulting with my dad. And I remember we would go across the street for a fast food chain. They'll pile pieces of foam. That's my bar. You know,
That's
I need to
bar.
go over that with my pole, and then if I do make it, then you know I get a fast food.
A free meal.
Yeah, a free meal, basically.
But what is the pole? Is that a real pole?
No.
Or a stick that's converted as a pole?
Meron po yung pinantataas ng bar. It was aluminum before.
Okay.
And I was not bending the pole, so it's really makeshift. Whatever we have, we make do of what it is, and it's more fun. It wasn't structured. It wasn't, oh, you need to do this. It's just like, okay, I want to make that so I get a fast food treat. for
So
my
that
dad.
was your motivation.
Yes, definitely.
That's a burger.
I
or
remember
free
that.
meal.
Yes, French fries and all.
And your father, who was then a pole vault athlete for the Philippines.
Yes.
He was there every other day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day.
I can't remember exactly, but he was there quite often, and I started actually hurdling. But my dad, as a national athlete, you need to keep shape, and you need to be there. You need to train. So I'm pretty sure he's there at least 2 to 3 times a week, at the very least. I do remember him working another job, but that's his thing, pole vaulting.
I don't know if anybody asked you this. I'm just so curious. What was his record?
4.95 meters po.
4.95
Yes.
meters versus EJ's 6.1.
6 meters. Well,
6 meters.
Or not yet done, so hopefully we'll get there.
Fantastic. So his record, your father's record was 4.95.
Yes po. Yes
Okay.
po.
I'm sure nobody asked you that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He doesn't want me sharing that.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Obiena. But okay, you tried it for the first time you were 5 and 6, and na-realize mo now that early that this is an Olympic sport, this is a tough sport, this is nakakatakot ito, parang, or you just, wala lang, let me do this, let me try what my father's doing.
Definitely not like, oh, this is serious, this is something. It's more fun, really. It's a fun time. It's my pastime, it's my bonus after waiting for them to finish training, like hanging out with all these national athletes. Now I get to try it. Like I said, I definitely sure I'm amazed, like during that time, seeing my dad, fling himself like 16 feet in the air. It's amazing to see that as a kid. And with that, you want to try, you want to emulate, you want to follow the steps of your dad. As much as other, when you become teenagers, you don't want to admit that, but you do. There's that figure that you want to do what he does, and he's your idol, he's your Superman, he's your hero growing up.
Yes.
And with that, it really kind of turned itself, more or less. So I started with it. I wanted to be part of the Palarong Pambansa team from Manila, NCR, going. So there's not a lot of pole vaulters. I'm not really a big kid. I graduated high school as 5'5". That's really tiny. So pole vaulting was my way to get there. And then slowly I represent Manila and NCR and gets to Palaro. And then, we have the UAAP and NCAA. We're not the most financially well family. Therefore, I need a scholarship if I want to study in one of the big schools in the country. And having that athletic background in pole vaulting is something that, gives you a path, gives you a possibility to get to a better school.
That's correct.
And then, one thing led to another. When I get to the school, I competed in ASEAN School Games in Singapore. And
And how old were you then?
16 maybe.
16.
And I
10
got,
years after.
yeah, I got maybe 5th place. And it didn't sit right. And I was like, I think I could do a lot better. And I definitely felt that a bit of a shame competing for the country and, not winning. We're athletes. All athletes can relate to this. We want to win, and it doesn't feel good not winning, especially when you're not just competing for yourself, you're competing on behalf of the country. So I pushed a little bit more, and the one thing led to another. I competed in ASEAN University Games. It's only the Southeast Asian region, and I've won that. And from there on, things started to open, and luckily I got the scholarship from World Athletics, and really opened a lot of doors for me in
All the way
Europe.
to the Olympics.
Yes, and
So from a kid picking up small flowers and weeds
Yes.
in Rizal at the age of 5, and then next step was Palaro, representing a school
yes,
in Manila.
yes.
Anong school yun?
Chiang Kai-shek College.
Chiang Kai-shek. And then college UST.
Yes.
And kailan mo na-realize, gawin kong seryoso to. Let me do this well, let me win, I'll go to the Olympics. When was the tipping point?
You know, when things kind of go your way, you kind of forget sometimes what's the core thing that drives you, or do I really like what I'm doing, or is this something that I got used to? That something was around 2017. You know, I was set to win my first Southeast Asian Games gold. Like by far, I was the highest rank. I just won a continental medal. It was, you know, I was at top of my game, and never really realized, I never really had time to kind of slow down and really think, hey, what's going on? Like, is this something I truly love? Is this something? And then, you know, I torn my ACL, and then next thing you have 6 months to kind of think
To assess
what you want to do. And being a USC athlete, I had a contract that they're going to let me finish my degree. It doesn't matter if I can compete anymore or not. But then I have this dream. I've been flying in and out of Italy, competing in Europe, and, you know, seeing the surface of what athletics actually is. So those two you kind of need to weigh. I wanted to be an Olympian. I knew that. It's something that I never really know until I made my first Olympic team, if that's a possibility. You had 6 months to really reflect and think, and, you know, I realized that I really love the sport. You know, it's not something that my father actually gave me. It's something that I truly love.
And hindi ka pinilit eh. You were
No.
not forced into this, di ba?
Yeah,
Meaning,
not at all. I mean, you know, as a kid, you're not. It's hard to force a kid to do something. I wasn't, but it's always something, a means to an end. You know, like a better education, get a scholarship, represent your country, represent your school. Until you get hurt and really, you need to dig deep.
and you realize something, no?
Yeah.
When you dig deep. You know, I want to get your thoughts on this. I've been traveling all over the country, and I see youngsters boxing, running, and these are the 5-6-year-olds saying, gusto ko maging Manny Pacquiao, gusto ko maging EJ Obiena, gusto ko maging Calayulo, gusto ko maging Hidelin Diaz. And then I ask the same question. All of them, I ask the same question. Bakit mo ginagawa ito? 5-6 years old. You know, the first answer is what you answered, what you told me a while ago. The first answer is para kay mama.
Yeah.
To help the family. Para kay mama. The second answer is to be able to study. And then the third answer is to go to the Olympics. That is what you told me just now.
Yeah.
And is that a realization na noon pa naisip mo na, or is it a realization lately when you're there now, you're in the Olympics, you're a top-notch world-class athlete. When yung realization ba na yun nangyari when you were in high school, or when you were already a top-notch
It's
athlete?
a step-by-step thing. You can always dream to be an Olympian, but not everybody's gonna be. It's less than 1% of the world. So, but this is why I advocate for athletes and kids to really try sports. You know, the least that you could do is have fun. You get to have fun. And if you're good enough, you get a scholarship. that's changes a lot of things. And what I keep telling, you know, our recruits in USD that pole vaults, and, you know, sometimes they're not the best at what they do. I said, if you're not vaulting now, where would you be? And I'm like, I'm very proud of one kid, John Ray Magallanes. This is I think what I could have been. It's one decision away from it. So he got discovered in the province. He was jumping on hay, yung kusot po. And then a friend of mine said, "Oh, look at this." I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." Like, he's so passionate. Like, that's in Philippines, man. I was like, "Really?" So I started looking for him, and then, you know, one thing led to another. He studied in UST High School, and then he trained. He won a couple UAAP medals.
So you discovered him?
I mean, not me. That friend of mine in Europe.
Who's
Like,
a
he was,
foreigner?
Yeah, a foreigner. He was trending. It's like, look at this, what's happening in Philippines.
Pero EJ, yung realization na how tough is it as your life as EJ Obiena, meaning how often do you train? How often do you how long do you sleep? Meaning 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours a day? What do you eat? Ano ang buhay ng isang world-class athlete, EJ?
It's very nomadic. It's not a 12-hour or 18. It's a 24/7 kind of thing because you need to do the things that you know would help you. So you need to sleep. It doesn't matter you want to play a video game now. If you're serious at what you do, you need to let that go. If that's getting in the way, you gotta let that go. Unfortunately, if you have a love life that gets in the way, you gotta let that go.
Wow, that's
It's-
another quotable quote.
But it's it's a reality, and that's why it's tough. At the same time, it's rewarding because you invest so much of yourself truly to something for a split second. You know, when you win, you don't feel happy, you don't feel blissful for a month. You feel happy and blissful for 30 minutes, and then the next, you gotta get
It's a
back
different
to work.
story, yes.
You're back to the everyday grind that nobody else see. So when the season kind of doesn't happen well, it's tough. It's kind of tough to swallow because all the things that you have sacrificed and all the things that you've done, and like what you were saying a while ago, one of my quotable quotes was, "I'm a better pole vaulter than a boyfriend." It's because I need to prioritize what I do, and unfortunately, it is a 24/7 kind of thing, and you don't get breaks, you don't get cheat meals, you don't
No cheat
don't
meals.
get vacation until the season's over.
Yes.
So
And,
that's-
and it's always a short period of time.
Yes.
So after all all the sacrifices, naisip mo na, maybe I'll quit. Pumasok na ba sa isip mo? It's the home stretch for
a
EJ.
lot. I mean, it's you could say lucky and unlucky. You know, I have a lot of experiences to really push me to reflect and really dive down. And why do I do what I do? And why do you keep pushing what's in it? You know, my dad jumped 495. I'd be happy at that time. I can remember it clearly. The first time we went to Europe, I wanted to just jump 5 meters. And I told that to my current coach. And he said, "No, I think you can jump 520 this year." And I couldn't believe him. All I had in mind was 5 meters. And I'm happy after that. And going a little bit back, I just wanted to get a scholarship. You know, it's an ever so changing motivation. It's a different thing, and kind of my team, I guess, is like every time something's taken away from me, I realize the value of it even more. So 2017, pole vaulting itself was taken away. I needed to decide, and I realized I love it. Representing the country, I always thought it's my right. I always thought, like, if you're the best, you can represent the country. That's your God-given right. It doesn't work. It's a privilege. The moment I miss a world championship, even though I qualified, and watching it, I was in Berlin with my girlfriend watching it. I remember saying, you know, I can't take this anymore. Like I said, this is painful for me. I'm missing. I'm literally one of the best in the world. I qualified for that meet, but I'm not there.
Not there.
So it's something that I realized, you know, that's worth it. That's worth it for me to go through that, the way that I could compete for the country in the future. And I'm able to win the Asian Games afterwards, win the first, you know, World Championship medal of the country, the pride and honor and the smile that you see, and to be honest, the belief that you give, and you know, as a show of example, something truly, it's different. It's much bigger than me. It's much bigger than sport, even pole vaulting itself.
Do you feel that the same feeling that some sports is cruel, or your sports is cruel, pole vault is cruel? I win now after 30 minutes, back to the drawing board, next competition. Is it cruel in the eyes of an athlete, or is it cruel in the eyes or the feeling of a person watching it, or the Filipino people?
It is.
Do you find that cruelty in sports?
It is cruel because it doesn't care. It doesn't care if your mom is sick and you need to take care of them, and so you lose sleep. It doesn't care. Winning itself does not give a damn if you actually even trained as hard. Are you prepared? Is it raining? Oh, you slipped. Or you had a bad night. It doesn't care. Sometimes winning, it's a fraction of where, like you said, we got the win 30 seconds later with the video replay. It was taken aback. So
Yes.
sports can be cruel at times because it's beautiful. It's
beautiful.
it's cruel because the moments that are high are magnified by that cruelty itself. So if everything's sunshine and rainbow in paradise, then it's not sport.
Then
It's,
sports is boring.
it is gonna be boring.
You know, I was there in Paris. I watched you. You were just one jump away from that medal because you scored the same.
Yeah.
It was a 595, if I'm not
590. Yes.
590. And the same. But he got the bronze because
I missed one.
you missed one. And you said sports is beautiful but sometimes brutal.
Yes.
You said, yun yung reaction mo when you were
Yes.
at. And why did you say that?
Because in a all positive sunshine paradise, it doesn't matter who competed. It's a win. It's a win. But there's only gonna be 3 medals. There's 40 of you fighting for it. Not everybody's gonna come home happy. The majority of you are gonna be crying or gonna be sad. And it truly sucks to be so close that, you know, like that childhood dream of being an Olympian and being an Olympic medalist. It's a difference of a lifetime. And having that upon your reach and missing it by one attempt is truly
Yeah,
cruel.
because it's not even the score.
Yeah, it's not the height. It's not.
It's just the number of times.
Exactly, but that is sport. That is the beauty of it and the cruelty of it. It's not rainbows and sunshines, but it is a beautiful thing to watch.
But when, you know, the feeling, EJ, of 590, third place, fourth place, he has a medal, I go home without a medal. Ano ba yun? Talaga bang masakit sa dibdib? Masakit ba talaga sa puso yun?
For sure.
Talagang, ano yun, that same night, pagbalik mo sa Athletes Village, talaga bang sa kama mo, left and right, turning upside, meaning, ganun ba ka-painful yun, EJ?
It's not. I think it's not like that for me. It's more I'm still in disbelief after all the things I've done, after being seated number 2, being, you know, going through all that things that I needed to do to make sure I'm in the starting position in Paris and have a fighting chance and miss the podium like that. I was in disbelief for quite some time. I really was. Usually I'm quite a versatile player where a bad day, then I'm done. You know, next day we realize we learn from it, or if we win we celebrate and then we keep going. But that I was for quite some time really in disbelief that after all the things that happened, I'm missed the medal by an attempt that didn't in a perfect world would not even matter. So yeah, it's painful in a different way.
Yeah. When Kaloy competed in Tokyo and Hidelin won the gold in Tokyo, I saw a photo so powerful. I don't know if you've seen it. It's Kaloy Yulo
Holding the can.
holding the gold medal of
Yes.
Hidelin. And Kaloy said, I'll win this in Los Angeles. Is that the way you feel in 2028? Meaning, is that the same drive and perseverance and discipline for you to be back in the Olympics in 2028?
Yeah, you know, the good thing is I've been there. I've done that. I've been at the top of the game. I've won multiple world championship medals. I've been at the top of the game. I know how to be there. Like, it's not just about luck. Sometimes you learn the boundaries, and it's difficult to just say, okay, this is something I want. I do believe I can. I do understand that I'm capable. It's just a matter of how prepared am I going to be? What condition is EJ going to be come that time? And that's where it's tough, because it's almost a bet. it's a bet that you'd never know if you're gonna win or not. It's not a 50-50. It's a completely different odd. You know, it's 4 years. It's not a short time. It's a lot of investment. It's a lot of things, and I love pole vaulting. Don't get me wrong, but I also have a lot of things that I believe I could do, and with that, it's an investment, to put it that way. You need to invest your time, not knowing if you're gonna get it or not. And with that, it's a tough call, because it's not even a belief thing. It's truly just opportunity only comes once every 4 years.
And then LA is just around the corner. You'll be back there and more experience, meaning maybe less of the jitters. So
Yeah.
we're there. We're on track. We're on track. But EJ, going back to this Ayala event, pole vault event, thank you for doing that.
It's my pleasure, truly.
Meaning really, we're proud of you. Hindi naman napapanood ng mga Filipinos yan eh. Di ba? Ako personally, that's only the second time I see that kind of, first was in the Olympics, the second time was, talagang iba, the experience is different. And talagang, wow, world class. And now you're not just an athlete, you're also an organizer.
Sort of.
Tell me, how's that experience? Because I'm sure, Pasma, why am I doing this? Why did you do that?
Because I wanted to bring the pole vaulting community in Philippines, because the event itself is getting a lot of traction. I think it deserves the attention it's getting. And what's missing is a piece of live experience of it, because watching it in TV doesn't give justice to the hype. Being in Olympics doesn't give justice to the hype, because you're so
up
far.
there. Yes.
You can't appreciate it, but if you're so close, and like you said, it's a totally different experience, and that's something I really wanna bring, and I think maybe on the personal side of things, and my greatest motivator right now is, like, I'm in a field where it's dominated by Europeans, Americans, and in general, not Asians. Mm-hmm. And I actually can compete toe-to-toe with these guys. And Filipinos have this, you know this, you've met a lot of kids, and I think it's a Filipino culture. It's a good and a bad thing, that we're kind of putting ourselves a little bit lower to different races. We see the Americans a little bit more dominant, but having been able to win in a home crowd, having a world-class field is something I really wanted to do. I mean, I didn't plan to have a terrible season, but I wanted to be able to show that and really, hopefully inspire.
But your terrible season, that is the showcase. You brought it to the Philippines, meaning all great Filipino athletes must, at one point in their career, bring that event to the Philippines. And you did that. That's a gift to the Filipino people.
It's a gift to me as well.
And it's a gift. And we have to do it again.
Definitely.
The women's pole vault. So, nine foreigners. You invited 9. What did they say about the experience and the Philippines? Let's do some sports tourism stuff.
Yeah.
What did they say?
First of all, they're really surprised in the amount of crowd that was coming, because we made sure that they're aware of what's going on. When it came to the briefing, we said there's a lot of things happening today. Please be patient and don't expect a huge crowd, which I myself was a little bit worried about. But also they can't believe, to be honest, they said the track is really fast. Typically, the runways, those kind of runways, are made of aluminum, but because aluminum is a bit of a rare supply here in Philippines, we made it from steel. So steel is a little bit stiffer. It's a little bit of a technical side. That runway is really fast. Okay. So everybody's happy, and they said, if it wasn't raining, we probably would have jumped a lot higher. Of course, the post-competition expedition to Palawan po.
You went to El Nido?
Yes po. We went to one of the El Nido resorts in Pangulasan.
And what did
everybody had a good time. Someone got engaged. And really, it
Sir,
truly is.
meaning surprise or
Surprise. I didn't know.
of course surprise para dun sa babae, pero sa inyong mga
Pati lalaki po. Kasi, so what happened po, both of them actually wanted to propose to each other. Both of them bought 2 rings. So one for him and one for her, and one for her, one for him. They both kind of was planning, and they're both talking to the same guy who has a good camera in the group. It just so happened. They have 2 pairs. So they
that's
have
magical.
two engagement rings.
It's a great moment.
So what can I say? If that's not a core memory for those 2 guys and the rest of the team, and I know a lot of pole vaulters wanted to come and visit the country. It is a spectacle of a show, and I think a lot of medias are covering that as well.
what is your analysis and your position as far as this new program of bringing more sports events to the Philippines? The Philippines as a sports tourism destination for all events, not just pole vault, for volleyball, for futsal. What do you think of this strategy?
Oh, we definitely need to, because Filipinos, we love our heroes, we love our athletes, we love sports. I mean, for a country whose average height for men is 5'6", we love basketball. With that, it says a lot about our culture. We love the events, and look at what's happening in that Letang Ayala. We had full seating and even more outside. So with that, it really, the Filipino people are starving for good sporting events. Therefore, I believe we should bring it. And I think, I keep repeating, maybe I'm biased, but we're at the golden age of Philippine sports.
I agree.
We've won in the last 3 years.
3 gold medals.
It's arguable, but with this, I think we could keep this momentum going and really, solidify our stand as being one of the best countries in the sport.
Yes.
And with
or
that,
a sports capital.
exactly. And with
Sports
that,
capital.
you need to bring the events here and really inspire the next generation of athletes and use these ambassadors to really champion the sport that they do, especially
I like that. Sports
it's-
ambassadors.
Exactly.
I like that. EJ, second to the last question. SEA Games. Are you preparing? Are you joining? Are you making sure that we win a medal there? Of course, the gold medal in SEA
of
Games.
course. I mean, winning in SEA Games is big for the country. It's huge. Therefore, I value that. Like I said, competing for the Philippines is not a right, it's a privilege. Therefore, if I'm giving that opportunity, I definitely would want to take it. At the same time, I'm at the point in my career where I know I'm not going to be forever here. That's why I'm also encouraging the next generation to step up, because these experiences you get to learn and you get to experience pressure. You get to understand how to deal with it. Therefore, the next time you know what to do. And with that, I'm not going to be, if we're sure we're going to win, I'm not going to block it. And again, I'm set to compete. It's in my calendar. I really would. It would be my
Fantastic.
privilege to win another SEA Games gold. So
And expect a lot of Filipinos flying to Thailand just to watch you, right?
thank you.
Last question, EJ. Is there a home stretch for EJ Obiena as an athlete, as a sports organizer, as a future coach? Is there a home stretch for you?
I can't definitely, certainly say what I'm going to be doing for the next, couple of years of my life. But pole vaulting has been part of my being for the longest time. It's kind of hard to just like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to move away from it. I think this is something I truly believe Filipinos can be good at. And with that, all these events and all these clinics and all these facilities that I'm trying to really kickstart is something that I would hope would be a home stretch for me in the next couple of years. I still don't have a retirement in my sight. I still believe I could compete at the best of the best, therefore I'm still here. So I guess that would be my home stretch approach.
Give me your message to the youth, the Filipino youth, the parents of these youngsters. What is your message, your parting shot to the youth of this land?
Have fun, enjoy sports, enjoy what sport has to offer. There's a lot of learnings there, and definitely something you can't learn in the classroom, and I do believe in that. So enjoy, have fun. The worst thing that could happen is you have fun. One thing could lead to another. You might just be our next Olympian.
And why pole vault?
We all come in different shape and sizes. Therefore, if you're small and fast, you're perfect. You're big and a little bit chunky, you're perfect. You saw, it's a sport that doesn't favor certain physical attributes.
Yes. EJ, it will still be a very busy 3 months before the SEA Games, then Asian Games, and then LA Olympics. But it's an honor and a privilege, and we're very happy that you're here with us because, you have not yet won the gold medal in the Olympics, but you have a heart of gold.
Thank you po.
And that is why you are a champion,
Thank you.
because of that heart, that big heart. Ginto yun para sa aming mga Pilipino.
Salamat po.
So tuloy-tuloy mo lang yan.
Will
Thank
do.
you, EJ. Thank you very
po.
much.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much. The burden of heroism is great, but the heart of a true athlete is always greater. EJ Obiena is a golden athlete, a champion in the truest sense for the values that he embodies. His sportsmanship, his drive, his discipline, his commitment to his sport, and most of all, his love for his nation. He exemplifies the best that sports offers us, the opportunity to showcase our best selves, the greatness of the human spirit. Sports can be brutal and cruel, but at the end of the day, it is athletes like EJ whose journey as an athlete has gone from the track and field stadium to the courtroom to the greatest show on earth, the Olympic Games. They show us the beauty in triumph, the strength in loss, the immense courage in fighting the good fight, no matter the score. That is the story of EJ Obiena, our hometown hero, an inspiration to the nation. I'm Pató Gregorio, and this has been another episode of Homestretch.